pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I just want it noted that Mel called me last night and had a family emergency, so he is excused from this meeting. Looks short and sweet. We've only got 2 items on the agenda right now, but it could be lengthy. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to review the superintendent candidate applications. I just picked them up from Via Caliva. We had 7 applicants total, and we do need to go over these applications in closed session. So we're going to go into closed session at this time, and I'll give each of the board members a packet for review, and we'll take the time that we need to go through them and see what we want to do from there. So, closed session at 4:02.
So you want us to step out, Tara?
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. Go back on the road.
No pizza, no vodka, and your water.
All right, we are reconvening at 8:20. Thank you. 8:25.
Did you need Clark here or?
He's not. He had to go take his son someplace. So yeah, we'll just go. I do want to thank everybody that's here. It was a long process, and we had a great work as a board from all 4 members. Mel did have the family emergency, but he gave me some direction before he left, and so we were able to work with that a little bit as well too. So.
We also came up with the idea of us going out there so you guys can hang out here.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll bring a foosball table.
There's another kind of little conference room. Right?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Where are we getting to?
We just got a little closer as a community out there, Jay. It's all good, man.
I got a lot of work done. Oh, good. Okay, so just to kind of recap, give you guys an overview. We did have a total of 7 different candidates that had filled in applications and submitted them and met the criteria that we were looking for as a school. Via did the first initial screening, and then from there just gave it all to us with a little bit of insight and a little bit of recommendation, but mostly just to kind of keep us on the road and know how to maneuver through this process. With that being said, we went through all 7 candidates, including Mr. Scully, and in great detail, as you guys are probably painfully aware. So at this time, I'm ready to entertain a motion how to move forward.
Okay, so I make a motion to interview Bud Scully, Brian Kotz, and Michael Perry, as well as reserve the right for the board to interview others if necessary.
I'll second.
This time we'll open up for public comment and discussion.
Can you just please repeat the names?
The first one is Mr. Scully. The second is Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, Kott, K-O-T-T. And the third is Michael Perry, P-E-R-R-Y. And Michael is actually from out of state in Washington.
Brian's superintendent, Drummond. Brian Todd.
Okay.
What can you tell us just who they are and where they come from and their current position?
And maybe why you picked them? Are you allowed to tell us that?
I would think so.
Absolutely, yeah. So we went through in detail. We had very sometimes heated discussion, debates, went through every candidate. We looked at them for 3 basic criteria. First and foremost was their instructional leadership. Second is how they manage their skills and working with the budget. And then third is their PR skills. And so those were the criteria that we really looked at when going through each candidate, along with their work history, their accreditations, and experience. You had two parts to your question. I was probably quicker. It's late. I'm tired.
Me too.
Where are they?
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody's familiar with Mr. Scully. He's our current interim. Brian Knott is the Cott. Thank you. Is the superintendent at Drummond, and then Michael Perry is the superintendent in Washington. What school is he at?
He's near Spokane, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the smaller.
Super small school.
Yeah.
Sorry, we went through a lot of information.
But I think Michael Perry is a Montana boy because he went to school in Montana, I believe.
Yep, originally from here.
How do you know what their PR skills are?
We don't, that's why we're interviewing them. All we have to go on is the letters of recommendation, and you know, their experience on paper. And so that doesn't translate to meeting them, and that's why, you know, we discussed just moving forward with Mr. Scully. We discussed interviewing more than the three. We went through every scenario, beat it.
So when is Mr. Scully's interim contract up?
June 30th. Yeah.
Keller Public School is where Michael Perry is.
Thank you.
And also Harrington Public School, because he actually does half-time at each, or part-time at each school.
Two small schools, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you clarify, did you say that he was superintendent as well or principal?
Superintendent as well.
Okay, both of them were superintendent. Thank you.
Yes.
For Mike Perry?
Yeah.
He has 38 kids at one school, and then that's one.
38 at one, 94 at the other.
And he does both.
He does.
Yeah, and let me make sure I'm on the right. Mr. Perry has a total of 6 teaching years, 15 coaching years, 5 years as a principal, 6 years as a superintendent, and 1 year as a professional development area.
Are you going to ask whoever it is to continue being AD along with the superintendent?
Those are 2 separate positions, so we wouldn't, we haven't discussed that as a board, but typically they're not done by the same person. They are 2 separate positions. So we were concentrating tonight just on the superintendent.
Well, we're saving quite a bit right now. I just wondering.
Yeah, and we have taken that into consideration too.
So, my big question is this. Are those candidates looking that nice compared to Bud? Are they looking better than Bud? If not, or why even do it? Because from what I've seen already, these candidates must be pretty freaking slick for you guys to even interview them. Because from what Bud's done already, I don't see how. I know you have to look at these packets and all that, but to find someone better than him, that these candidates, they must be shining gold or something. And are they? Do they look better than Bud?
I agree with what you're saying. And I did have that conversation with Bia Kaleva, as she's the one that we hired to help us through this process, and she's the legal counsel for the school. Right. And she did reiterate and say, if Bud is as good as you think he is, as good as he's doing for the school, he's getting the positive accolades and whatnot, he'll shine on paper, which he did. Okay. And we had 2 other candidates that also shined. Were they better? Some of it's apples and oranges, it's hard to say. She went on further to say, if you're going to start this process, you need to see it through to the end. And we actually did discuss not doing any interviews at all, just going with Mr. Scully as an option. Right. But we decided to go forward with the entire process on her recommendation, and just how we felt as a board, to see it through and be as transparent as possible. That's the reason we're in this position to start with this. We said we'd open it up. So then, same thing through the interview process. If he truly is the best candidate for the job, which he very well may be, then he'll shine during that interview process.
And see, I also know that this interim contract, I agree with the way it was written to say, hey, at the end of it, we have to look, and that's us protecting the school. But now that he's here and he's well proven himself, I think the board needs to take into consideration, and I don't know a better way to put it, but hanging him out to dry. All that he's done, he's moved his family up here for us, right? Brought his kid to a new school for us. And I think that needs to be a huge consideration in deciding, maybe even if there is a better candidate, is it morally right for us to just let him go, and now he's going to go find another job, and that'll hurt his family, so.
He did know what he was getting into. when he
I
took the
understand
job.
that, Pat, but
Yeah.
And we were taking
I-
all of that into
Yeah.
consideration, so.
I'm just saying, that as a community, I think that we really need to look at that part of it.
Yeah.
That all he's done for us, I don't think we should just let him hang like that, hang up to dry.
That makes sense.
I believe, I don't know the other people, but I can't imagine they'll be that much better than him, but I do believe that if you've asked for applications, you need to interview at least one or two other people, which you are. I mean, if you don't, something happens in the future, someone might not even apply because they didn't think that was fair.
Right.
You know, and not to speak on behalf of everybody else, but I believe we went through a very professional process tonight, selecting 3 candidates that have the potential to do very good things for Florence School. And Mr. Scully is one of those candidates. And to be a representative was, if he's that good, he'll still shine.
Right.
You know, and maybe as a community, it's hoped that he's that good, but there's a couple other candidates, you know, that didn't shine like he did, and they weren't selected.
Right.
You know, so we started with 7, we're down to 3. That should say, you know, we went through a very professional, very formal process to say these folks could be good fits to continue driving the Florence Carlton School in a very positive growth and very positive direction. That alone should be warranted, I think, as, you know, as a professional recommendation from the board to do so.
Right.
And we owe it to everybody to do it.
Right. Oh, I respect everything you've done. I honestly do.
You know, I get that it's, you know, I understand that it's a consequence of the position. And I think Mr. Scully understands it's a consequence of the position. But we did it in a professional manner, I believe, to the best of our abilities. And, you know, we're at 3.
It is what it is. So do you do these interviews in closed session, or are we allowed?
No, we're gonna do them openly.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of what the timeline is for the decision?
We'll have that firmed up tomorrow, but at this time we're leaning towards a February 2nd date. Do we want to expedite it as quickly as possible for these candidates, including Mr. Scully? Bea does need time because now she'll do the background checks on the 3 that we've selected and finish her screening process as far as that's concerned.
I don't know who
Bea
this.
Culliva is the attorney that represents our school, and she's the one that we hired to help us through this process. So we've retained her services for this purpose. Mike Ward, you want to join us?
He covered it.
Okay.
Yep.
Scott Taylor.
I think I understand what Adam is saying, and
When this kicks on, I really can't.
yeah, I'll speak louder. I
Thank you.
understand what Adam was asking about. People are comfortable with Mr. Scully and what he's accomplished this year so far, and the feeling that he's done good things. That is important, and we do want to consider that. But I think what you're saying and what Dan is saying is that you are bound by the terms of the hiring process, and you have to maintain the integrity of that and see it through to the end the way that you set forth in the terms. So I think that is important that you're doing that, and I think that's commendable to you. So good job. Thank you.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no.
I want everybody to be clear. I'm not disagreeing with what you're doing.
No,
I'm in favor of Bud. That's all.
we appreciate
We
knowing that too.
went through, you know, I'll be candid with some of the, as we did actually have a very nice process, and it was, you know, pleasant to work with all the board members. So, yeah, obviously I wanted to potentially follow through with the idea that is a normal process of giving a superintendent a contract that's proven himself to be a good superintendent. And that is a normal process that happens all over the country. But I also heed to these board members that really want to see other people and exactly what you say, follow through with that process. And so, you know, to work as a team, you know, and not just sit there, that's exactly where we are with this process. And it doesn't mean there's any, it's still a very transparent process. There's no favoritism or anything because, you know, these other candidates have, you know, they worked hard too. So, I mean, but yeah, we've kind of gone through what's gone on the audience, you know, it's like we agree, but yeah, we got to follow through with the process. And so, but that's just kind of letting you know a little bit about how we went about doing that.
So,
Through the process, the cream rises to the top.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
basically what
Yeah.
we, you know, what we came to. So,
And in taking the time that we took tonight and going through the applicants, that was very evident tonight too. We had, each one of us scored separate and individually, and it was amazing how our numbers lined up right in line with each other. So yeah, that
One
was
last-
evident even this evening.
One last thing, Tara, are you gonna make it mandatory for these other candidates to come here, or are you doing it over the phone? Their interview?
A phone or Skype, we discussed that, phone or Skype would be acceptable.
Okay.
For the out-of-state.
But we won't pay for anybody's travel expenses. I know that was a concern last year, and we didn't pay for Mr. Scully's, and we wouldn't pay for any now.
None of them are that far away, are they?
No, Washington's the furthest, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Find out how
yeah.
convictions are.
Yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
Any other comments, questions? Absolutely, yes.
You know, I think it's very commendable and very good what we've done here tonight as a board. And my biggest hope is that the community can take away that we're doing the best and the right things that we can be doing for the school. And by doing this process, Mr. Stigler's right, the cream will rise to the top. And that's probably the best person for Florence School, and we'll get there. Stick with it.
Any comments or suggestions?
Thanks. Thank you.
And
What do
we
you
do
guys do?
appreciate you guys staying here. I mean, bulk of the work, you guys were just out there and not in here for much of it. So it was a long evening, and I do appreciate you guys being here. All right. So I have a motion on the table to interview 3 candidates. And it has been seconded. We've had our discussion, so now I need to call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Now we're on to public comment. Any other public comment?
I think we said it all. I just, you know, I mean,
Adam Reed?
I just, Adam Reed, yeah. Like I said, I'm totally in favor of them. The last administration, I'm not gonna say they didn't work with me, but they just wouldn't listen to me. And since Bud's been here, he's already had 2 meetings with me, one with Jay, sat in on it, tried to figure a way to get some VOTEC classes in the school. And then he took the meeting with the American Legion, was gonna get, if I remember the number, like $40,000 worth of scholarships back in the school. And I was informed he already got one in play right now for $400. So, and that's just the stuff I dealt with him, and I see all the other stuff he's doing, so. I think if I was on the board, I'd honestly vote for Bud, and that's just what I'm saying.
Those comments from the public are extremely important too.
Right.
I'm here to voice your opinions, not my own, so. It's
I
very
mean,
important to me to have that
I walk into
voice.
school and see that new carpet, I'm like, about time.
Did you read any of the emails? Sure.
Yeah, and we did discuss those in closed session, Mr. James got some phone calls and stuff too that we all shared with each other, and the support is overwhelming, and we have heard that. So we do want you to know that we do listen to that. We had several emails. So. Kelly Jo, question?
I just want to say ditto to what Mike said. Every time that I have a question, I just call Bud or, and find out basically from him. He talks to me just like anybody would. That has never happened in the past before he came here. Never. One time I waited 9 months for a phone call. So, it's great.
Thank you.
Record Jane
Lionel.
and I just have to ditto what they both said too. I've enjoyed every bit of working and talking with Mr. Scully. What you see is what you get. I love it. I love his work. And talking as far as the kids in the school. I see him going up and talking with him. I see him talking with them. He's at every game. It's been a great addition, along with a wonderful family, and a great addition with his kids being in our school. Great kids too.
Any other comments? Last chance. You've been waiting all night.
So can I just say that you make an announcement about the interview meeting?
Yeah, well, we're tentatively looking at interviews on Monday, February 2nd, but that has to be verified with everybody's schedule, with Mr. Finley, who can't be here tonight, and then with Thea Sullivan, who's helping us through this process. And we will make an announcement as to when that is, and it will be posted just like every other meeting that we have. So.
We could have a school reach call, since this is a really important one.
Is there
Yeah, I
something?
won't be in town that day, so are you?
Oh, yeah. When are you, what's your schedule?
I don't return till the 3rd.
The 3rd.
I fly-
So it's not yet. Now that we've got it, that's good, yeah, so we'll be looking at later into the week. Yeah.
Need to follow.
Yeah, so we will make an announcement when those are, we'll make sure it's posted, everybody's well aware. I'll even have Mr. Scully send out, the all staff emails and stuff so that we can really spread the word. So
I really like you to be there for it.
I know. And it's the reason I said we had to verify.
Somewhere around
Yeah. Okay. Okay, any other comments, questions, concerns, thoughts? All right, thanks for being here.
Cool.
Adjourn.
Good job, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enjoyed that. I'm sure we'll see you.
Yeah.
You did a good job. Pat, thank you. You did a good job. Get it figured out eventually. Good morning, Dad. I didn't get up. Bible study.
Thanks for that email that